A concern. Of course, that was grabbed by St. Vicious, so 2 champions removed from Porpoise Pop's champ, but we haven't seen him play any other champion yet so far in the North American Challenger playoffs here. Lee Sin right now, his hover, and I want to know what else he can bring out for the team. I do still like Dodo's Nami, that's just fine. But I actually wonder if the Orianna might have been a mistake here.
I was thinking the first pick Kha'Zix would be what they were going to go with.
Or Nidalee. Like, Curse Academy, I think, played this exactly right by basically creating a situation where Red Side was the advantage. They put on 3 champions that were all highly prioritized in different lanes, meaning they got 2 of them, teammate got 1. The rest of these champions are uncontested.
It doesn't make a huge amount of sense because they're trying to neglect it from Keen. They want him on something that he's not comfortable on. But at the same time, Slushy hasn't played Orianna yet this series, and he's been having good games on other champions.
Well, he's not been allowed to play Orianna this series, though. Slushy is a good Orianna player.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Unless you get to create chaos by, getting a good Fizz matchup, for example. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily love Yasuo unless your team is set up to use it, and only last game did it look like it was actually going to work out here. So, I kind of have to see what goes on. Gragas still might be the champion here in the top lane for him just because it'll survive the Nidalee matchup and potentially outscale. Curse Academy also making some interesting choices. They've switched their lanes up a little bit and are much more early game focused. Corki now in that AD carry role since they have an early game split push power in Chris's Nidalee. And I think this is what Curse Academy needs to just crush lanes early on, put teammate down, and prevent the comeback.
And what is going to be the answer to this Nidalee in the top lane there from California Trolls?
Is it Lee Sin?
I don't know if it's a Lee Sin top lane for him. I don't think it's going to be. I think he's going to have to pull something else out here. Though he may go back to Kayle. He may, he knows what he's playing it into. He may play the Fizz into it.
Watch when it's actually like Keen Nidalee mid and we've all been trolled.
And he goes AP Nidalee mid. It can happen. It can happen.
Oh.
Okay.
Actually, I like this. I like this a lot. Malphite top here for Cali Trolls. The reason I like this is just the fact that you've got such darn good team fight engage. And really, what does Curse Academy even have that's good for team fighting? Like, you've got a hardcore split push from Nidalee, and you're just like, okay, we're going to dive your turret, and then teammate wins the game.
It's the ball delivery. It's going to go right into multiple members, and if Slushy gets going enough on that Orianna, Shockwave, Dissonance, Command Attack, don't even need the Command Attack half the time, will kill Bunny Fufu if they straight up hit him with that, and he can't get an ultimate off in that time.
So we now have the most disparate game I think we've seen this entire series. Teammate going hardcore for the team fight engage, and they hope to God that Kog'Maw can follow up on this because he is like the only damage of this entire lineup. Curse Academy very much do not want a 5-on-5. It's Keen roaming around on Cassidy, and Chris split pushing all day on Nidalee, and St. Vicious hopefully getting their lanes in a good spot. This is going to be a hectic one.
Yeah, it's going to be all over the place here. It's going to rely on the positioning of Curse Academy before the team fights start. How do they start off? Do they start off clumped?
No, it's not even team fight. Like, they're not going to be on the same screen together ever.
That's the thing, though.
If they do, they lose.
Yeah, that's the positioning. Where does it start? Is it going to be just Nidalee up in the top lane, 1-4, 1-3-1?
The entire game.
You would hope so.
If Chris groups up, I'm going to be really sad for Curse Academy.
That's the thing.
Or they prove me wrong.
Yeah, it's going to be that situation where Curse did what Curse did today with Quas.
Yeah.
So you just keep pushing that lane over and over again with the Nidalee, and if the person, your enemy, TP's out of there, you're like, all right, see ya. I'm going to go get 2 turrets.
Absolutely.
That's worth it for me if my team disengages.
Oh, we'll see if they can do it. Then Curse Academy backs against the wall, down 2-1. We're just moments away from getting into this game. So while we wait, tell us who you think is going to win online. Tweet at LOL Esports. Use either hashtag T8win or hashtag CAwin. Let us know who you think is going to win. Pull that up a little bit later on in the game. But we're going to have the players themselves also tell us who thinks going to win by playing League of Legends.
I think that's going to be the biggest tell there. Regardless of what you say on Twitter, they don't know what you're saying.
Hey, you're supposed to leave our people empowered. The Twitter voters are empowered here, too.
But they don't influence the game.
How do you know that? Why do you think we have... No. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I had nothing to follow
even
up
you
there.
can't
I was hoping.
up.
I was hoping I had something. My brain didn't work fast enough. Why do you think crits are random? They're actually based on Twitter votes.
Really?
Yep.
Is that why you get crits every game? Because you're more popular than the Olive Garden?
Yep. That's why. free breadsticks too. Maple Street's got to be careful. Pops the E. He's taking a lot of damage, though. The Twitter votes are with Maple, though, as he runs away. Javelin hits Dodo. And Chris is not going to get him.
The slow being leveled up first from Bunny Fufu. It's a 2.5 second, 55% movement speed slow. At max rank, it's 5.5. It's a long duration CC.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to lower their harass potential a lot. Like, the attempt for that kill is actually going to
hurt them.
Really help Team 8.
Yeah.
It is a flash on cooldown, to be fair, so Maple Street is down a summoner.
But here's the thing. Is Cursed Academy impactful? Leveled up Valkyrie. Bunny Fufu leveled up his...
I missed that.
His Time Warp. They have no way to push this lane against Maple Street and Dodo. Dodo, he leveled up his heal. He's Ebb and Flow. And then Maple Street leveled up his Void Ooze, so he does have his Wave Clear tool available to him.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, teammate should otherwise have a decent early lead. The problem is, though, his teammate is actually leashing the red buff here for Porpoise Pop. So while Lee Sin will get top lane really early to tilt the matchup, and Cali Trolls as well will notice that Chris is leashing for St. Vicious here. It's basically a bunch of knowledge gained on both sides now, but Porpoise Pops, I think, will have a faster jungle route.
Yeah, he's going to get more assistance, and now missed a CS.
Did Dodo get experience in that one? Can we click on Dodo, actually? Yeah, he got XP for the first melee, so Maple will not get level 2 off of the 3 melees in the second wave, but Dodo will hit level 2, I think, first of the wave entirely. That might matter then when a bubble comes out and kind of zones back impactful.
And if they can push this wave out, and yeah, people really favoring that Team 8 right now after that game 2 and 3 performance.
Well, I agree with what Jat said, which is like, look, once you get a win like that, the series is kind of swept in a certain way. Like, if you lose all your morale, it's kind of over. So there's a real big potential there. Slushy trying to push in Keen. That Kassadin, 4.14 Kassadin. That's a 4.14 Orianna. She does much less auto attack harass, so could help Keen more than you might realize in this lane.
At the same time, though, Orianna is kind of the counter pick to Kassadin.
It was the assumed, yeah.
It's the one that goes even, comes out a little bit on top early, and contributes to the team fights, and we'll have to see what they do with it. I know there were some players that were just so confident in their Orianna play that they let Kassadin stay up and bait it out and then pick it into it.
I like that we're finally at a point where Kassadin's no longer perma-pick and ban. Like 8 nerfs later, and a rework, or like 2.
Yeah, but here comes Porpoise Pops and St. Vicious. They're both around mid right now.
Ooh, good.
And Slushy, he's actually going to drag him back.
But here's Porpoise. Saint's got to run away from this one. Pops the jump. Takes some harass back and forth. Slushy out of potions now. Knock up there.
The bubble.
Onto Impactful. Good damage. Dodo trading exhaust now with Bunny Fufu.
And that's going to be actually level 3 for both members of the Cursed Academy bot lane. Maple Street hasn't hit his level 3 just yet.
Yeah, he got to lane just that little bit late there. Finally 3 for himself.
You know, they're standing on top of a ward. He actually sees where the back is. Throws the Void Ooze out to stop it. Good job there.
He should be able to afford Doran's, though, so it's not the worst recall in the world. Actually, no. Ruby Crystal for himself and then some potions. Okay, so still wants to go towards Phage. Enough consumables, though, to survive the lane on the return. Maple's probably going to wait till he gets Vamp Scepter on the recall. So
yeah, he'd probably go Bilgewater Cutlass. It's actually
wait for that entire item.
Mildly cheap item in that regard.
Yeah, that's true. Ruby Crystal has no really that effective combat stats, so you can wait with this, like, quote-unquote item disadvantage and just farm up for a bit.
And Dodo is doing a really good job because he's taking the Zilean bombs and then he, like, walks them out of the wave.
We put them into the caster minions to try to, like, create a freeze or deny CS from Impactful. Like, that's part of the reason it's 4 CS and Bunny Fufu. Is you try to deny the AD carry gold.
It's also helping the wave freeze and push towards him. So Bunny Fufu has to watch his bomb usage in this lane. And he's fast pushing it right now, and it is actually just going to be the Vamp Scepter for Maple Street here.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to have to deal with the power spike that Impactful had, but it's just a Ruby Crystal for himself.
Well, I like this, though, because it allows basically all the gold income to come through. Because Dodo upgraded it to Frostbang as well, so it's like this sort of nice way to cement your lead by being basically unharassable.
Calitro's been smacking around Chris's Nidalee in the top lane.
Yeah, they're going pretty equal. The Malphite's working despite Nidalee being characteristically a lane bully. Equal CS on this wave. First recall goes to Chris. Cali Trolls will do the same.
I know for a long time that Malphite was really the only team fight-oriented top laner that Cali Trolls played. And it is actually the top laner that he played when they lost to Necrophantation because their damage output wasn't high enough.
Yeah, and we've talked about that in Champ Select. This game is a lot about Maple Street. And he has been a consistent damage source, a risk-averse damage source, to be fair, but he's actually consistently topped the charts for damage dealt by Team 8. So this might just work. The fact that he's going late-game carries now could be enough for Team 8 to win the battles here.
Nope, Saint sneaking into this bottom lane bush.
Could be good. Level 5 on that Kha'Zix. Forces a flash from Dodo 8. Bubble's going to miss as well. That's a good amount of damage from Phosphobomb.
Yeah, Dodo gets chunked out on the return. Yeah, they walk it into the minion wave.
Well, Porpoise is coming, though. Lee Sin waiting in the wings.
He's actually walking around. He's trying to find where Saint is because he knows he's half HP. Able to bully him around.
And good wards from Saint, though. Stop that. Okay, so enough ward coverage from both sides. Looks like no ganks will now happen from these guys. Cali Trolls again in battle with Chris. Level 6 on Nidalee. Does get some decent damage down. Breaks to the passive, but they are still trading autos back and forth. 3 points Q, 2 points E. Nothing in Brutal Strikes from Malphite.
Yeah, doesn't want to push the wave.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, he does have just a Giant's Belt. So he didn't go for Chalice for Mana Regen or MR.
True. Sunfire first.
And he didn't even go for the parts of Spectre's Cowl against the magic damage source because he's more concerned with the physical damage.
Yeah, the autos are a big source of Nidalee's early damage output here for sure. Interesting to note, by the way, as a random factoid, if you actually care about your ground slam damage, getting a second point in it is worth more damage than getting a point in Brutal Strikes and activating it for the bonus armor in, I think, basically every case. So, if you care about your burst damage, you actually ignore W. For all those Malphite players out there.
Yeah. All,
yeah, Malphite players!
One in the house! Just one. Oh!
Impactful! Loses his summoner heal again. The exhaust rated out by Bunny Fufu. Dodo didn't use his, so a summoner spell lead now here for Team 8. And that 2-on-2 is working well, and they're fighting a lane bully in Corki, and yet winning this matchup. And those guys got a gank from Saint, so I am very impressed by Teammate's duo lane right now.
Dodo can't really walk up to deny the cannon minion because they have to back off because Keen walked by that pink ward. Still not going to check it.
Aww.
He's not going to check for it.
I don't know why Keen actually didn't go all the way down. Like, there was no one around, actually. He backed by a ward, but, like, you can stop the recalls, push your team down, and actually go for something there. I was surprised he didn't finish the roam.
Yeah, he's trying to stay in this mid lane and stay up in CS with Slushie. This top lane, though.
The key bit is staying up in CS. Yeah, Chris is actually crushing Cali Trolls right now. 62-40. It'll be around 45 by the end of this year. And look at that harass. I mean, Chris is really doing well. Curse Academy now going hard for this one. Porpoise Pops shows up mid a little bit too late. Slushie says, this dragon's dying, guys. And Curse Academy off. They're already up 300 gold before it even starts, and they get Dragon as well. Curse Academy, this is good for them. They need to get ahead so that they can force split pushes and get away from team fights.
Yeah, and the blue seems to be taken up here. And exactly, they need to force the split push. And they need that extra gold for themselves on Curse Academy side. Cali Trolls TPing to the top lane. Now he's going to just push out Chris. Meanwhile, teammate can start applying pressure to this mid turret and try to get an answer for that dragon that they gave up.
They're trying to get some good damage. Porpoise Pop's making it happen, and yes, that will be mid turret going down. No surprise, though. Orianna versus Kassadin matchup after all. A couple of words come down. Porpoise Pops did rush Sightstone, by the way. His first Sightstone of the match. Oh, damage on a Dodo, though. Keen, plenty aggressive here. Does dodge the bubble. That could have been 400 damage that bubble landed.
It's not going to take the Q there. They left Maple Street in the bot lane again. Dodo, he roamed mid. It's the typical MO for teammate.
Maple feels safe, though. He's against a fairly low pressure lane. Sorry, low kill potential lane of Corki Zillion. There's harass, but not usually the fatal damage. And so Maple just farming, getting solo XP. And with E and R, he's actually pretty safe to last hit from range as well.
We're going to have Dodo rejoining him, though. So he's going to be even safer in this matchup. Impactful actually goes for the Sheen first and just sits on the parts of the Phage, even though he started with the Ruby Crystal.
I actually like that
it's definitely
because
better because the parts of Sheen don't feel good.
Right. Like, Parts of Fate are so reasonably useful. So, it will be his best sort of arrangement of his gold, basically. It's the best he could go for here. And you can see he will get some decent damage harass onto Maple, who will be forced to use the Vamp Scepter and Nami to stay in this lane. But so far, so good, honestly. Top lane is absolutely crushing. There's the engagement. Chris pulled aggro. He's going to go down to the turret. A mistake from Chris means first blood for Calitrolls.
Calitrolls playing the Malphite, still very aggressive. Chris, a little too overly aggressive there, took the turret aggro, and he made him pay for it with the ultimate. Look at Slushy a little too far forward.
Flashed away from the slow of Keen, though. Saint still in the chase. Two-man Shockwave, but that's another slow coming in. Keen gets the kill. The trade back there from Curse Academy.
And that's actually going to be St. Vicious evolving his W for the extra slow, which helped them get that kill.
Yeah.
Got multiple rotations of that spell off. Was able to keep him slowed and away and stop him from getting away. But now they're going to continue to pressure this mid lane here. It's only Porpoise Pops.
Well, that's the thing, though. He can't really defend easily on Lee Sin. Calitrolls getting free pressure in the top lane. Chris will not teleport to it. Saint clears away one of the defensive pink wards of Teammate, and Curse Academy are in exactly a tied game right here. Again, they have very different goals with their mid games. The early games have gone the same.
And actually, Bunny Fufu roamed mid, and that leaves both Maple Street and Dodo to pressure this bot lane. And there isn't going to be much help for it for a while here. St. Dish is going to have to walk down there. But at the same time, Porpoise Pops is en route. Yeah, it's just going to be impactful for a little while.
Well, interesting. Thing is, though, that's going to be him getting wrapped on. Dodo goes for the ult, does not quite block the Valkyrie. Porpoise Pops flashes in, flashback from Impactful, lanes the Q, doesn't chase though. Trade of flashes. This bot lane turret sure to go down. TP just killed the turret. Wasted teleport from Chris. No reason to do this at all.
He's right in front of Calitrolls too.
Here comes Saint though. No slow.
So they waste the teleport. Chris, a little too late on that. And the good focus there by Teammate. But another big thing was the kickback, just a couple pixels to the left. A couple pixels short of that. So Impactful, good flash.
Yeah, exactly required. It was the right choice to realize the kick was going to happen. Chris still trying to make top lane work, but Calitrolls with a Sunfire now. Like, watch this fight here. Chris can't barely even break through the passive shield of Calitrolls as he gets burned to death very slowly. These long duration trades let Calitrolls get a second round of spells off, and Chris still loses health while this happens. He even laughs for it, he knows. But here comes Keen. That was good from Chris. Calitrolls does have the ulti. Does use it, but they had actually stopped chasing him by then.
He's out of there. Wow, that turret is so low.
It's gonna die at some point.
So the point that he actually got Chris to overcommit to killing the turret was actually, Chris could have probably taken it out if it's been at that same HP. I think it's taken more since then, but they do end up killing it. But there is a collapse here.
Yeah. So both advantaged lanes, both the Orianna vs. Kassadin and the Nidalee vs. Malphite, eventually do turn into turret kills. And that's the payoff for what are supposed to be good lanes here. Those have been equalized now. Kind of in a mid-game at this point, where Maple Street does have that Ruin King spike in. No Triforce yet from Impactful. Chris got to be careful. Kicked in. Calitrolls does not have ulti just yet. He's going to get slowed down. Good cripple there from Porpoise Pops. Red buff on as well for some decent damage. Chris does not have flash. Dodges the Q, but that's a 4-second slow from Seismic Shard. Chris is going down. Calitrolls gets the kill.
Calitrolls 2-0 in that top lane. Look at this. The pressure from Keen in the mid. Trying to keep Slushy down. And now Saint here to push the wave a bit.
So really, though, Curse Academy aren't being held down by the fact that Kassadin is supposed to have a bad lane matchup here. They kind of escaped that early game, and it's on to the point where they can realistically roam pretty effectively. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot better plays come out of all these individual performances of Curse Academy, and it's going to be up to Teammate to try to survive this situation.
Here's the thing is, you did get that matchup in the mid lane, and Kassadin's going to keep scaling up. But this top lane is just going in the worst possible way it possibly could have for Curse Academy. Chris 0-2 as Nidalee down in farm against the Malphite. He's not in a position to effectively split push at this point in the game. Teammate, on the other hand, Calitrolls, he's in a great position to join fights with TP and set his team up for success with his ultimate. They are on on very different spikes right now.
That's true. If he actually does hold down Chris one-on-one, That's a gigantic wing condition for Curse Academy, just completely nullified. And it still gives room for teammate to make plays. So that is something to watch for. And you're right, yeah. Kylie Trolls has done well in the 1v1 so far. So big risk for Curse Academy. Now it's kind of on the bot lane and Keen to make things happen, maybe.
Looks like he's going to go and get himself even more armor. And I think it's going to be the Iceborne Gauntlet.
I think
Kylie
so.
Trolls in the top lane.
Yeah, Sunfire, Iceborne. Very, honestly, pretty good at dueling with a build like that.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of cooldown reduction, ways to stick to this Nidalee if he times it correctly between his Seismic Shard.
He even has wave clear without spending too much mana.
He'll eventually get to that point, though. Right now, he's still just flexing, bullying Chris. What can he do?
Look at how far away Nidalee has to run there. The slows are strong. Chris still taking damage. Kylie Trolls now 3 points in Q, 5 in E, just crushing him back. And the Seismic Shard got such good wave clear. Wow, he's really going to dive this. Chris still running away. Knocked in the air, takes a heal, but Chris has basically nowhere to go. Kylie Trolls thought he could win this. There's the tidal wave. There's the Q. Revive comes in from Nidalee, and now there's St. Vicious kicked back. Knock out the Bunny Fufu. Chris will get away, but here comes Keen. Teammate overcommit, and they allow the roam to happen, and look what happens. 3 kills to Curse Academy for a spread out fight.
Way too overcommitted to that fight, way too aggressive. They went under a turret, and then they kept going, and Bunny Fufu showed up for the save. Keen showed up for the extra damage. Saint, still in attendance. Slushy, not a part of that at all. He was still farming the mid lane.
Yep. Well, Gaston's going to be better at leaving lane than Orianna, certainly.
This is a big boon, though, for teammate, or it used to be. Because Kylie Trolls is able to do this to Chris, to push him all the way back. This is a Nidalee. This is a champion that is constantly banned because it just 1v1 so well. And the fact that Kylie Trolls is set up to pull off this type of move, Forcepaws gets in there. Ends up killing him, but it's right at the time. And he has to kick Saint away. Can't wait for Chris, because they have to retreat. They are in full reverse here, but Keen shows up and cleans up both Porpoise Pops and Dodo.
Yeah, this honestly made no sense to me, though, because they don't need to win 1v1s to win the game. I mean, yes, taking advantages is nice. If you can get kills, why not take them? But to try that hard and ignore the fact the enemy team could be showing up is completely disrespectful and honestly rightly punished by Curse Academy.
And they're going to the source of the split push. They seem to be wanting to pick on Chris. He's the only member of Curse Academy who's actually died this game. He's died twice.
Yep. But Curse Academy looking like they got signs of life. 1,300 gold lead still for themselves. The roams have worked. Keen is 3-0. We're going to watch a bot lane fight, by the way, that happened during our previous engage.
Impactful chunks him out with a good phosphorus bomb, and it just throws bombs at him.
Damage.
And boom.
Yep. That is why Triforce First is a very strong item for AD carries. Ruin King doesn't do much unless you're Vayne in an AD carry duel, so...
Yeah, the fact he rushes that first every game on Kog'Maw delays his first item power spike.
Yep. This is a very strange build because it... I think I've talked about it enough already.
It's personal safety, I guess, but like
it's not. You just died.
I know you lack the movement speed.
Yep.
And the HP. It's not a good. It's not a good build against another AD carry. You're not going to get a lot of damage out of it.
It's okay if you're going to go into the basically trifecta items of Ruin King plus Eye Edge plus Phantom Dancer. Then you're just like, great, I'm just going for the quick 3-item spike. But
he also got himself Merc Treads so that he can deal with the long duration slow from Zilean. But that's about it. That's it.
He's been buying a lot of Merc Treads this tournament, actually. It's one of the only AD carries I've seen. I think this is his 3rd Merc Treads in, what, like 7 games or 8 games here. So really favoring that item a lot recently. It does fit his style. He's pretty risk-averse and pretty sort of methodical in his play. Hoping to get away from CCs and whatnot, but we'll have to see if it's going to pay out. It is a loss of damage. It's 25 attack speed he could have from Zerg Greaves. Impactful, more auto-attack focus, though. He did not go Sork Shoes on Corki. Instead went for Zerg Greaves here himself.
They put Keen in the top lane, but that's going to put Chris and Kylie Trolls back in the bottom lane. They want this matchup on Team 8's side, because Kylie Trolls just keeps winning it.
And honestly, that's fine, because it puts him right next to the dragon that comes up in a minute. There's no turrets to kill, but it's not the split push power. It's just waiting for team fights here.
Oh, they're trying to collapse.
Well, that's a dead turret. That's right there behind. Saint does get spotted out by a Q. Chris now bullying with his Triforce here. Look at that jump in. Kylie Trolls half health. He's got to respect the fact that Curse Academy can roam down so easily.
And there's 45 seconds on that dragon. Maple Street, he's pulled down from the top lane alongside Keen to go back to the mid lane so they are around the vicinity.
Well, Well, let's see what we're going to get out of this one. Iceborne Gauntlet now done for CaliTrolls. He will be even better at dueling Chris. I think the matchup flipped one more time with that item coming through. That'll make Chris have to respect him a little bit more. But the fact of the matter is we need to really watch kind of the four guys in the middle. It's Slushii, Maple, Keen, and Impactful. I think those are the people that are the players to watch. That's where all the action's going to happen. How good are Keen's roams? How high is Maple's damage? And the people who oppose them, basically.
Okay, here's the thing. Is this team fight is about to happen, or at least it looks like it might happen. Cursed Academy, they don't want to go to the Dragon. They want to stay by this mid, and there it is.
Oh my god, the random pick. CaliTrolls with the ulti takes down Bunny Fufu. And that means Dragon for Team 8.
Remember when I said at Champ Select, if he gets knocked up, he's not going to have time to even use his ultimate.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened there, because he's extremely squishy. And Cursed Academy, they want nothing to do with these fights because it's the Malphite ball delivery system. And Slushii has been doing pretty well for himself. He is the highest CS in the game at 240 at 21 minutes.
Yeah, he's been completely untouched, basically. Yes, a couple of ganks have come through, but he has been farming like a madman, hoping to just push a gold lead and keep Keen down, keep him pushed in. Still a 3-kill cast, though. Watch that fight again, just waiting over the brush.
Boom, smack. And he's gone.
Yep. Just the one ulti, some auto attacks, and down he went.
Didn't even get to touch the ground.
True. Well, after he died, he just
His
kind
dead
of
body
face-planted.
touches the ground, yeah.
I think a Zilean normally doesn't touch the ground in the first place, so how does Malphite even deal damage to him?
Blowing my mind. He knocks him even further up.
Weird. You think he'd just like fly down gracefully.
I guess he loses whatever keeps him hovering and he just splats.
Aw, poor guy. Teammate, though, now up 300 gold off that pick and the Dragon. The difficulty, I guess, that there's not a lot to team fight for, which is the weird thing. They've already taken the 3 outer turrets off of these lane matchups. The Dragon's off the map for another 5 minutes. There's a lot of time for Cursed Academy to wait around and sort of scale. The difficulty, I guess, also is that not a lot for Cursed Academy scales up that hard. It's kind of just the Kassadin, and everything else I feel like gets outscaled in the role in any of the meaningful ones here. Mid lane turret's going to go down. Nice play by Cursed Academy. Just playing off the recalls of Team 8. And now they're back at lead 600.
I think Team 8 are going to start to group up more and more and keep themselves more centralized and just have CaliTrolls answer to Chris wherever he is in lane and then wait for the 4-on-4 and then make it a 5-on-4 or 5-on-5 because Team 8, they should be more than happy to take these team fights.
Honestly, yeah. But as long as they can find them, that's the really big thing. Cursed Academy typically playing well around them. In fact, most of their team not even catchable. Chris, Saint, Keen, and Impactful all run away fairly quickly if they get spotted out.
These wards from both teams are actually just hyper-aggressive wards. So wherever the action is going on.
Yeah. Team 8 have really good Baron control right now.
Chris getting bullied around. There's the power spike we talked about with the Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, CaliTrolls is really crushing this matchup right here.
Is he going to use
Sword
his ulti?
shoes are done as well. He's going to wait for Chris to hop.
Ooh.
Oh, he could have, but he didn't know where anyone was. That was smart. That was CaliTrolls learning his lesson from last time, not throwing these leads away. He's created more control for the map. He's going to get his own wards down now in the eastern jungle to keep creating pressure, pulling Cursed Academy away from Baron and allowing them to take it later, happening right now.
They're going straight for it. He does have his teleport. He hasn't actually shown himself in a bit. There he goes. He shows himself down bottom. Chris is actually going to try to answer it.
It's going down so fast,
there's
though.
no
Cursed
vision
Academy are checking late. There's Baron at 1/3 health. Here comes St. Vision. Ward of the Wall says, oh crap, are they on Baron right now? But he's got no wards. He's got to check blind.
It's right there.
Reveals it. Jumps in. St. Vision gets the Baron from Team 8. He revives. He tries to run away. A bubble says no, but that was worth it.
And they also get the TP from California Trolls. He is a part of this fight now, and they're going to start pushing wherever they can because they just gave up the Baron there. Saint had no ward. He had to check it with his W. That's why you evolve it. Got the vision, jumps in, sticks around.
Yeah. The question is, what can Team 8 take? Their health bars are a bit low, but they had a little bit of time of 5v4, and they do nothing. They had a 5v3 available in the mid lane, actually. Chris was still bot.
And we're going to see that again. He has to wait for Bunny to get the range, so he's like, screw it, I'll do it myself. Jumps in, gets knocked up, but it gets it right after Porpoise pops.
Early smite by Porpoise.
Slightly early, just fractions of a second. Saint's hitting smites. It's definitely a different Saint.
Teammate's screwed.
Oh.
He's unlocked his real power.
It's not even his final form.
Now he's got an Evo left in 2 levels.
Yep. No Rengar, though.
Darn.
At the same time, though, that is huge for Curse Academy. Exactly what they needed. Because they didn't fight a team fight right afterwards either. Because that could have been catastrophic if they continued to press the issue. Saint basically said, you know what, we've got to cut our losses. But look at this. Keen fighting Cali Trolls. But everybody else who's tried, they've lost. But Slushy's here too.
Try. All right, there we go. Doesn't go for it.
Nope. Slushy doesn't even show himself. But meanwhile, mid lane's being pushed down because Slushy is not in attendance, and they don't have the wave clear here.
I like this, though. It's basically a 1-3-1. Curse Academy not grouping up.
Oh, they're going around
hard.
Maple.
Maple's now really screwed. He got split off by Chris right here. That is the damage coming through. Chris will have to get revived, I think. No, Saint pulls aggro. There it is. Won't quite enough damage. But hey,
Very close.
probably the right choice for Bunny Fufu here.
Better safe than sorry. Baron regen definitely saved Chris.
True. Okay. Curse Academy doing the right thing, though. Cast and split push. He is really hard to hold down. It's been long enough in the game now that he is 16, so he can't be caught by any of these 1v1s of teammate. I don't think any single person can dual Cassidy and make him die here. The Nidalee split push from Chris. Going for the build we saw Quas do, actually. The Bloodthirster second. It's going to be good at killing turrets and honestly really hard to kill.
Yeah, the big thing, too, is that Nidalee's Q in Cougar form has an AD ratio on it.
Yep.
About 100%, and then it increases as they get lower and lower, up to about a 333% AD ratio on the execute. So, and it's magic damage, too. So you do physical damage with your auto attacks, you change over, and then you do magic damage on top of everything. So it's really hard to itemize against it. So your AD basically becomes magic damage.
It converts it, much like Poppy Q does the same thing here. We're going to see Curse Academy make their way top lane. They say, you know, I think we've got enough time, even though we are grouping for this. This turret can fall rapidly. Baron buff, only 1 minute left, but it's turret number 4 here for Curse Academy. The first tier 2 of the game for them. And out goes the minion wave.
There's no response here. Cali Trolls doesn't have his teleport up. Porpoise Pops was going towards the dragon. They give up that turret for free.
Wow, and so Chris, looks like he is the dominant force again. That BF sword helping him quite a bit. Keen looks for Porpoise Pops. Level 12 on this Lee Sin. Kicks him back in. Doesn't do much though. King can just hop back out. No problem. No questions asked. And Palpatine has the kill. There's the engage. They find one. Chris in the mix. Maple, good flash away. Stays alive against Saint. The shockwave on the 2. They're still trading back. Zillion revive though. Can Cali Trolls win this fight? Saint is back up. Chris being chased away. Saint with the resets. Will kill Dodo. No, he won't. Slushy keeps him alive. That's actually a fight won by Team 8.
They end up getting the separate there. Cali Trolls with the ultimate keeps casting up, and they're going to get this dragon off of that, or at least attempt it.
They're certainly going to try. Their jungler will revive first, and I don't really think Curse Academy can stop them here. It's just Chris and Bunny Fufu. No easy stealing abilities in Team 8. Well, they found a team fight, and look what happened.
I think the team fight kind of found them.
It did, but that's still a concern.
Yeah, Porpoise Pops extremely out-leveled here. Tries to go for the Insect onto Keen. Goes back in, but Cali over the wall. Hits 3, and then 2 of them get knocked up, and they blow up Keen, and he can't rift walk away. Slushy shows up in the nick of time to keep Maple Street alive just a little bit longer. Now, Cali Trolls zones Chris, Bunny Fufu out of this fight. Keeps them away. Just a little bit of help.
Oh, he whipped the auto. He moved. Saint Vicious.
Animation canceled.
Too early. He would have gotten that kill, gotten the dangerous game, maybe gotten out. Slushy carried that fight, though. He one-shot Corki from like 2/3 health.
Yes. And also the fact that they were able to get Keen off the field very quickly and not have that slippery cast in outside on the outskirts of the fight. Coming back in and weaving.
Well, look at Keen's build. It's full greedy. He went Roa right into Death Cap. If he had a Zonia's, he was fine there. And you're seeing him pay for it there. So maybe a way in for Team 8. I mean, Curse Academy keeps...
He would have been fine with the Zonias if he had popped it before Cali Trolls even used the ultimate from Fog of War.
Yeah. But even armor would help him take a little bit less damage. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but it's still like the thematics of his build says you're very one-shottable. When all you've got to do is split, not get caught. There's a shockwave, so you've got to be careful. Jumps over the wall. Keen is just fine. Porpoise Pops lands the Q. Teleport in from Chris, because why not?
Because he's done split pushing his Nidalee. He's going to go do something else now. Group up for the fight.
Keen will rejoin the team. It looks like they want this mid lane siege. Problem is, Curse Academy, they have no good way to win the game, to end the game.
Yeah, their win condition is kind of snuffed out by this Malphite because Cali Trolls can duel Chris and
Oh no, Dodo's got to be careful.
Oh, he got the
great
bubble.
tidal wave, great bubble. They force the revive onto Keen. Out goes Impactful. Cali Trolls trying to create some pressure. Ulti already used though. Zilean gets out. A lot of flashes lost by Curse Academy.
They just get the support Dodo off of teammate, and now Chris, he's actually going to try to push this bottom lane as fast as he can. They got
him! 50-50, won by Slushie.
That one wasn't 50-50 if he's time in the back once again.
Nope, won the lottery there. $128 million won by Slushie.
Look at that. Cali Trolls just tanking this turret down. Maple Street shows up to help him out. And like we said, Curse Academy.
Uh-oh, Porpoise Pops kicks one back. Ward hops just in time. Chris actually flashes for it. Gets the kill.
Curse Academy, they're trying to go back to their win condition of split pushing right now because they aren't getting a response yet from Cali Trolls. He's the one who's been stopping the split push all game. And when he goes mid, it frees up Chris to do what he wants. Oh, trying to go after Slushie. Speaking of doing what they want.
Shockwave gets Saint. The heal comes through. Slushie gets the kill again. Hey man, the first pick Orianna, I said maybe not the right choice. No, it's the right choice.
No, Slushie excels on all these different types of champions. The fact that he's playing the Orianna, the Ziggs, the Yasuo. It's, like I said, it's pretty much impossible to ban him out, or ban out something that he has a good showing on. He's very versatile.
Wow. Baron pressure for teammate. Out goes the ward. They actually go on to Baron right now. St. Missions is dead for 20 seconds, and all teammate wants to do is bait a 5v4. No ult for Slushie though. Damage on the Dodo. They don't slow down Keen much. Baron deals some damage. Out goes teammate.
Cali Trolls does have his ultimate. Dodo is chunked down very low, but here goes Porpoise Pops on the side. Not going to try to make a play just yet.
Porpoise is only level 13, taking a whole bunch of damage from Keen, forced to ward hop away. Baron still taking damage. Saint is now alive. Cali Trolls, can he find and engage?
Chris,
smart.
Got him. Got us.
Yep. Made him look at him the wrong way. That's a cooldown lost.
So Cali Trolls, he had his ultimate available. Slushie didn't have his up just yet because he had used it a moment ago for the kill on Saint down bottom, but now it's back up. They're ready for this. Curse Academy, they kind of get sucked into this power vacuum on the Baron, and they're saying, we got to go do it. No, they don't.
Oh, Tidal Wave comes out. Impactful stuck in the Baron pit. Can they go? Porpoise Pops dies, but they find Impactful. He drops. Saint goes in, but is immediately exhausted. Takes a Zilean. Shockwave catches 3. They pick up 1 plus a revive. Chris, 1 hit from dead. Saint trying to mop up. Can't do it. Slushie, 6-1-3 here.
Almost stepped on a trap there for a second. It was very, very close. Chris?
Oh!
Slowpoke.
What?
At the same time, though, that fight, like I said, they section it off, and you see Saint go off to the right. They try to focus down Porpoise Pops, but that leaves Impactful in the pit, and they go straight after him. Single man ulti that, and it's just a command attack dissonance. The exhaust onto Saint, pops the revive, and they get a 3-man ultimate there. I think that's
2. Chris
jumped in, looked like it.
Willfully.
Saint gets taken out. That's like the second time that's happened to him.
Yeah.
Where the person right in front of him for the reset is just so close to dying.
Slushie is doing great. 6-1-3 in these team fights. Turns out they don't need Maple. They need Slushie to crush faces and get 360 CS in the 34-minute game. 4 items done, 1 slot left.
Actually had about that CS at the 31.5-minute mark. He just hasn't been able to farm for the last couple of minutes because they've been contesting objectives.
He's been farming champions.
Yeah. That counts too. 6-1-3.
Yep.
Tied.
Respectable scoreline.
Tied for highest kill participation on his team.
And lowest death participation.
Yep. Cali Trolls also holding both of those honors for himself. Gets the Abyssal Scepter. So now he has a build that increases his own damage. He also has double resistances, so he can deal with Chris.
Yeah.
In both types of damage. And I think he might be going for Spell Penetration next.
I like this build because it makes him durable enough to not die. He's already, by bursting out a Corki, removing some of the damage in the field. He's just durable enough to withstand the Catherine and Italy, low persistent damage threats. and yet still putting up enough threat to remove Corki. He doesn't need to do any more damage than that, just enough to remove Corki. It's really nice.
Chris is pushing that bottom lane. They're just trying to buy time for it, stall it out, and stop Team 8 from getting there. Chris is actually trying to run away. He's going to run by some turrets, but he's pretty quick.
Yeah, and this is actually very smart. They're not taking any time to chase Chris down. There's more important things to do. Curse Academy try Baron, and they realize why chase Chris. More
Bunny
better things to do. Bunny's going to go down. He's impactful, dies. Shockwave does not quite catch Keen. He Zonias though. Bunny gets out, but the AD carry and the mid laner both go down 2-for-0. Now top lane's being attacked. Calitrils will teleport to defend this against Chris. St. Vidge is forced to run away.
Really the only route that they had, and now the Baron going straight down here from Team 8. They're going to pick themselves up an objective off of this and a gold lead as well as those temporary combat stats. And now they stop the split push. They won a team fight that Curse Academy picked.
Yep. Team 8 basically showing up at the Baron that Curse Academy thought they were splitting their team off of. And again, smart by Maple to turn back around, ignore Chris, and Curse Academy need to be in a spot where they can disengage from that and let Chris hit turrets. That is not happening. Team 8 are getting their way in on these fights with the Malphite ult, with the Orianna Shockwave, and I'm so impressed by Calitrils because he's balancing holding Chris with engaging fights perfectly the entire game.
And here's the thing too, is that last fight that we saw, Bunny Fufu had a lot of pressure on him. They start focusing him down, pops the ultimate on himself, Calitrils simultaneously flies it impactful and ends up blowing him up during the CC. I believe they get Keen very, very low as well, but the fact that Bunny Fufu had to make the decision, I have to ulti myself, I'm just way too squishy, and I was caught out of position, was terrible.
There's actually a couple mistakes I'm seeing here from Curse Academy's builds as well. Still no Aegis, despite facing a Magic Pen Burster, which means Aegis is super useful there. And Bunny Fufu still goes for the Morellonomicon instead of getting like a Mikhail's or helping get the Locket in, or even like going YOLO face the mountain for a shield or something, just keep his teammates alive. You're seeing Calitrils be able to one-shot people, forced to run away now, ult's out.
TP coming in.
The slows are massive though, Kassadin shows up, more damage being dealt. Calitrils gets picked off by being isolated. These teams keep playing to each other's win conditions. Dodo forced away, still though on the chase.
There's a minute on his respawn timer too. Slushie and Maple Street were both near that bottom lane, nowhere even close to that team fight, which would have been a 3-on-5 if they had picked it for themselves. So Curse Academy, they take advantage of the situation where Calitrils is just too deep inside of the jungle.
Yeah, you can't isolate yourself against a team this mobile from Curse Academy. Now the same thing might happen. Maple, thankfully, is defense here for Slushie, but Keen would have gone for that 1v1.
And like you said, both the teams are kind of playing to each other's win conditions. Please, Keen into the wall.
Flash again to Keen, but he just rift walks away. 3-second cooldown, not even a concern here.
But yeah, touching more on the fact that you were saying they were playing to each other's win conditions. Curse Academy, they're grouping up for team fights. Horrible team fights in comparison. Team 8, they're spread themselves thin. Calitrils gets picked. That's exactly what Curse Academy want to do, so they can split push and that they can just blow somebody up without having that team fight. And they took off their primary engage. So when you know a team fight's not going to happen right after you pick Malphite off.
Yeah. So Team 8 trying to fix that now. You saw 4 people go to the bot lane just to clear a minion wave, get map control back in their favor, clear away a camp, and wait for Malphite. Every ultimate just about to be back available. Teammate's going to look all right here. They're not off the map, but they can definitely play Siege. Kog'Maw, a decent turret killer with his range. And there's enough shields and heals to keep Cass and Harass from mattering.
The Twin Shadow is also completed for Dodo, so he's trying to catch people and also be more relevant in team fights too, because that is a great tool for them for picking people off or getting the stragglers of a fight.
Yeah, look at that. Maple from the long range, turret goes down and basically nothing flat.
Yeah, Calitrils has to back to deal with Chris again. This is a Frozen Mallet build too.
Liandry's Torment comes out though, with basically no meaningful magic resistance on Chris. Teammate, I think, are well equipped for this. Keen's got to be careful. Impactful runs away. Tidal Wave comes in. Nothing picked up.
Doesn't hit anybody, and Chris is being forced away by Calitrils slowly but surely. Just the duel back and forth. Siege in the 4-man in the bot lane here without the primary engage tool.
All right, damage on the Slushie though. Curse Academy white just might want this 4v4. Without Malphite, they might just win. Shockwave catches Keen, and he gets blown up. No revive from Bunny, and here's the teleport in from Calitrolls, meaning they can cement this right now. Bunch of minions in the mid lane already pushing in towards the Nexus.
He's got flash.
Here's
and
the
ulti.
push forward. Will he go in? Flashes. Q's Bunny. He's in range. Gets some. Damage comes out. Does not force the revive though. Just a flash and a heal. Maybe a waste of cooldowns, but that is an inhibitor going down. Flash away from Dodo. Mid and hip goes back down. Teammate in a 5v4 with Kassadin dead for half a minute. But there's no important cooldowns left for teammate. They've got to back out.
2 inhibitors for themselves. Chris didn't have teleport. He can't even show up to that fight. And he doesn't want to. He wants to continue to split push, but he just cleared the wave. And hey, look at this. Malphite is already back to deal with it.
Perfect by Calitrolls. Minions go down. Team stays safe. Dragon becomes more gold. And both those inhibs just died, meaning teammate can get a free Baron while the minions push the base.
They have a lot of things going for them here in this final game for them. If they end up winning it, they could take the series 3-1. And just talking about this and what it means for the LCS, the bottom LCS teams, and who they're going to pick. Because Coast won Summer Series 1 and 2, but they ended up getting 3rd place in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Team 8, they didn't even participate in Summer 1 because they had a bad pick ban phase, and they lost in the round of 20.
Yep.
Summer Series 2, they ended up making it to, I believe, around 3rd place.
Yep.
And now they're going to be 1st place here. You basically have to look at these teams, digest them, and be like, what does our composition, how do our players hold up against these players, and what is this team's strength, and does it counter my team's strengths?
Something to consider for sure. For now, Dignitas and Steel G are preparing for themselves, but one of them is going to have to prepare for one of these challenger teams afterwards. We'll see if it's going to be Teammate or Curse Academy. The Academy only down 5k. At this stage of the game, not that big of a deal. Maybe they can hold on, but Teammate playing with a purpose, grouping up. Top lane now the target. Chris is split pushing in the bot lane. He's doing what he can to create pressure. He's just not pushing fast enough to make things happen.
He can't. There's super minions there. He's pushing against a huge wave.
Keen goes in. Zonya stops the tidal wave. Impactful taking damage, but Calitrolls is already ulted. Takes the Zillion revive, and they jump in. Porpoise Pops will be going down. Shockwave grabs Saint. Keen goes back in. They're trying to clutch this one, but Maple Street kiting away does go down. Now Chris on the push. He's going to take out Dodo, and that is an ace for Curse Academy.
That's exactly what they needed. They can't really push too much off of this. They might be able to get the Baron, but they have to defend their base from these super minions. Chris, he's going to go back to split pushing, and I think, yeah, they'll most likely get the Baron off of this if they can keep the minion waves out of their base. That
Gonna
would
be a bit tricky.
A huge team fight for Curse Academy there. They ended up having Chris show up a little bit late, but it was exactly what they needed because teammate went too hard again. We're going to take another look at it. Keen goes in, slows, keeps them grouped, and look at that. 4 members of teammate aren't doing damage right now. Meanwhile, Calitrolls, he's getting chunked down. Keen already has Zillion ultimate on him, but it didn't really matter. He goes back in, blows up that backline, and then they're able to close that distance because Calitrolls, he just didn't have the DPS of his team during his ultimate, after his ultimate, for a very long time.
Yeah. He dove in by himself onto Impactful, who had finished a Spectre's Cowl at that point. Plus the Bloodthirster Shield and Lifesteal means Malphite can no longer one-shot the Corki. He'd been doing it all throughout the mid-game, but that will no longer exist unless he went for DFG or a Death Cap instead of Liandry's. His time to threaten the backline has finally ended here. So Calitrolls has to realize this teammate needed maybe a little bit of a new game plan. Or you pull in the Shockwave alongside it. You have Slushie help you with this one.
Yeah, and Keen did a perfect bait there onto the team. He came in from the side, used his Force Pulse, Zonya'd. Then he's able to get out of it and then re-engage it by wrapping around. He also got the Bunny Fufu ultimate as if he was going to die there instead of Zonya'ing, but it ended up working out for him. He didn't have any use for it, but not a lot of members of Curse Academy would have made use of it either.
It's true. Only one guy even died in the first place, so not that big of a deal. Curse Academy playing defense, though. I can't believe, though, they just held a push against double dead inhibitors. Like, teammate didn't even have to dive that. Like, keep in mind, when 2 inhibs are dead, you sit top lane, you're like, 2 of you defend your Nexus. When you defend, we'll 5v4 whoever the hell we want, and you'll lose the game. Impatient by teammate, spread themselves out, didn't make the dives happen, didn't pick the same targets, and it was Curse Academy getting to play the kind of fight they wanted.
Yeah, and exactly. And Chris, he didn't TP until way later. He wasn't a factor in that fight for the most part of it. It was essentially a 4-on-5 plus a turret. And just the zoning, Calitrolls went too hard. And he didn't have a ball on him either for a backline Shockwave. Like, he can threaten the backline if he has the Command Protect on him. But Curse Academy is doing a really good job of splitting their forces.
Yeah. Exactly. You're seeing one-man ultis by people who don't get killed by that ult anymore. Keen playing great 6-6 and 5 on Kassadin. Finally recovering now by the end game. Impactful, very defensive in his build for good reason. Banshee's Veil now on top of that Bloodthirster.
Bunny Fufu, same story. He has himself a Banshee's Veil. He's been too squishy. He's recognized that. He also has his Seraph's Embrace.
Yeah, finally upgraded off that tier, so another shield there for him. And I think the timing of Teammate's comp might have run out. They have to play these fights so much more differently. The cool thing for Teammate, though, is Maple Street is going to be doubly more effective than Impactful. The two reasons being, one, it's Kog'Maw instead of Corki. The other being that Impactful had to build so defensively. It gives room for Maple that just deals so much damage. His build is more efficient. So Teammate can pull back and say, let's play Protect the Cog, peel back the Kassadin, and Maple can now be the carry of this team.
He's really relying on his Bioarcane Barrage here for the damage because he has a more attack speed oriented build. He doesn't have his Infinity Edge yet, and he doesn't look like he's going to actually get a Last Whisper at all, which isn't a big deal.
That's
on Kog'Maw.
Fine, yeah. Who's got armor on that team?
Exactly. Nobody has it, so it's fine. So he's going for the Phantom Dancer in place of that.
Yep. And that could just work out for him. So Teammate, can they play Protect the Cog, or can they get the random picks? Like, that is still a chance, right? There's the X factor of somebody can get one shot on Curse Academy. If you don't zone use it, if you don't revive against it.
Here's the thing, though, is if you look at the CS, there's 160 more for Impactful than Maple Street.
Yeah.
Maple Street has not been doing a whole lot this game in terms of farming, and it's chosen his items. Impactful is full build. Maple Street, he still has 2 half items to go.
Yeah.
Even a little bit more than that. I'd say an entire item and maybe half on top of it.
I don't think he needs the Banshees. He's basically, let me check the money actually. He's 1,500 gold away from the Eye-Edge power spike, which is all he needs. If I'm Teammate, actually, if I'm realizing this, you wait that 4 minutes, you give Maple all the waves, and you try a little bit later. But they're going to try right now. Keen goes in, but you can see he walks right back out with the Kassadin speed. He really can't be pinned down. Spooky Ghost come out. Impactful wants something. Good rockets. Dodo, half HP.
Saint is off on the side, trying to look for the flank here. Keen goes in.
Good zones by him. He can Rift Walk out. Can they stop him? Bubble doesn't do enough. There's the tidal wave. They go in on this. Chris is now separated. He's trying to run away. The revive forced onto Keen. Calitrolls got to be careful, though. He gets jumped on. Saint's going to go down. 1 for 0. This is the team fight. Keen drops. Double kill for Porpoise Pops as the top laner falls of Calitrolls, but they can keep going.
Oh, the shockwave.
Beautiful shockwave from Porpoise Pops, and maybe they could do a bit more. Chris forced to run. He is trying to escape the flash dissonance, and Slushie gets the kill. This could be the 3-1 for Teammate.
They're going to start pushing down this inhibitor freak. They have only 2 turrets in front of them and Victory, and taking this entire thing. But they're going to go for the second inhibitor because they don't have a minion wave just yet, but it's arriving now.
And they turn around, they stop on the inhibitor. Only Impactful and Bunny Fufu are alive. It's not going to be enough. Teammate trying to stop him back. There's the revive. This is going to be a kill in a couple of seconds here. They're going to try. They're going to. Dodo does fall. Porpoise on the chase for Bunny, but still 20 seconds on the revives.
It's too long.
This is going to be enough. That's going to be GG. Teammate with the Malphite top, the Fizz top, and a bunch of other fun stuff. Take home the Challenger Championships.
A team that didn't even participate past the round of 20 in Summer Series 1. Favorites for Summer Series 2. Didn't have a good showing against Coast. Come here into the playoffs. Go 3 games in the first round. Almost lost it there. Come up 2-0 Team Coast.
Yep.
Get revenge. Come all the way here against Curse Academy. They solidify themselves a spot. They bring out the top lane carries. They adjust their strategies. And they end up taking Summer Series playoffs.
Well, that is it, guys. Team 8. We will be seeing them in the North American 2015 Spring Promotion Tournament in about a month. whom they will face is up to the other teams. We'll have to see who the opponents are. Of course, Curse Academy, you're going to see those faces again as well. They secured top 2 in these playoffs. They're going to be in there as well. It's up to Complexity, Evil Geniuses, and either Counterlogic Gaming or Team Dignitas to figure out who's going to face whom. Might see some new faces in the LCS next season.
Yeah, and aside from some champion select things that happen occasionally with Team 8, like sometimes they just flat out lose a champion select.
Sure.
I don't know what causes them to do that. They do seem like the strongest challenger team in terms of versatility and what they could bring to the table in champion select. So if they get, like, I don't know if they have a manager or an analyst or somebody who can set up these types of things for them.
Sure.
But I think that they have a lot of skill and that they could make it to the LCS.
Yeah, they're definitely a very, very good set of players. They got some cool stuff going on. We did see a few slip-ups in that series, but at the end of the day, you've got a really... I like seeing the Malphites come back and the new